Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group right here in Tampa Bay for 23 years. Joined by his incredible co-host, Senia Akishina, realtor with Mahara and Associates, Tampa's top real estate company. Together, they have helped finance and close nearly $1 billion of real estate every year. If you're looking for local mortgage or real estate advice, the Business Happy Hour team has been right here on News Radio WFLA for over a decade. Listen right here or find us on the Business Happy Hour YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Frank the Bank Cotto. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious mortgage, real estate, and business talk with two of Tampa's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank and Senia.
Yeah.
All right, Lincoln Lending Group friends and family. This is Frank the Bank, your owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your number one lender in Tampa. And I'm the host of the Business Happy Hour radio show, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. And I am in studio by myself today, except for I have my good friend Illy from X-Force Body, who has been friends with me for over 5 years. Illy, I'm inviting you to your Instagram right now. You should be getting your invite. If not, you can pull up the, what do you call it, Business Happy Hour. Just go to my page and hit request to join. But you should have gotten a request by now. Hopefully you radio listeners can hear us. We're usually way better at our Instagram. Recently, we have had a little issue on that. It says Illy is unable to join. You may have to check your settings or something on there. It's not letting you join. But you'll have to, why don't you request to join the show? Go to the live and request that. For you radio listeners, thank you for listening. Oh, look, there we go. Illy just joined. Now she just has to request to be on video. So for all of you listeners who have never listened to the Business Happy Hour, she is having problems getting on here. We're going to get this figured out. There might be a set. You might have to give it access to your camera and your microphone on Instagram. It's possible that your permissions are turned off, which is weird because that's never happened before with Illy.
Is this under setting?
Illy is actually the one that helped me change my entire health journey and my workout and everything that I have been doing for 5 years. Looks like it's working. I just did an invite again. So if you guys knew Fat Frank, did anybody know Fat Frank? Raise your hand. Nicole, you're not allowed to raise your hand. But back in the day, prior to COVID, actually, and it's funny, do you guys realize that COVID is like going on 5 years ago? I guess COVID officially started for most of us, I think we heard about it like in January of 2020. I met Illy in, I want to say it was like September or something, about September of 2019 is when we first met each other. And I actually had her on my radio show. And I loved working out. I used to work out in college a lot, and then of course you have your kids, and you get the old dad bod. And I swear that some people probably thought I had stock in Columbia shirts because I'd wear those shirts and they would hide the little dad gut. But I did find myself not wanting to take my shirt off at the beach. It's legit. I always used to make fun of those guys. I'd be like, this dude's got a T-shirt on in the pool. What's wrong with him? Or then these the Guy Harvey shirts started coming out, and those nice smooth fishing shirts. So you'd wear those, and then guys would wear them in the pool, and you'd look around and be like, "There's other guys that have these shirts on in the pool. It's kind of cool." No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, cuz if you're listening today, we were talking about this on the phone the other day. He's like, "I like wearing my shirt in the pool." I'm like, "You do." Until you don't have to anymore. And take it from a guy who was 188 pounds, almost 190 pounds on a 5'8.5", maybe 5'9" on a good day frame. 188 don't look that good when you take your shirt off at the pool. But you know what looks too skinny? 148. And that's how skinny I got after Illy challenged me on the radio show. She literally sat across me and she goes, "All right, you say you want to lose weight. You say you want to put on muscle again, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do." And they're like, she's like, "Well, you can do it with just 2 days a week out of the week. 2 days is all she told, and 20 minutes a day." And here she is on my Instagram. Make sure you turn down all your volume and everything. So she challenged me. And she's like, "You can do this 2 days a week, 20 minutes a day." And I am like, "You are totally full of it." Yeah, turn your volume, turn your mic off. I'm like, "Okay, How's that going to work? I'm like, Illy, I like to eat food and a lot of it. I like fettuccine Alfredo. I like pasta. I like going to Olive Garden back in the day. I used to work there, and I get the tour of Italy. That's fettuccine Alfredo, lasagna, chicken parm, all you can eat breadsticks, Alfredo dipping sauce, and the salad.
You're making me hungry.
I know, me too. But here's the thing: before I met Illy, I mean, I knew that wasn't good for me. But I didn't realize how many calories I was eating. And listen, I'm not a Weight Watchers boy, I promise you, but I have seen the pictures. And maybe Illy and I will pull up a picture of me and we'll throw it on the Instagram. So I don't even know if I know how to like share a picture on the Instagram. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, I do have a fat picture. It's pretty funny, which Illy displays proudly in X-Force Body right now.
In both of our studios.
It is
on the wall.
It's in
right by the scale.
Yeah, it really is right by the scale. So I guess it's kind of motivation for me. But long story short, I didn't realize how important calories were. But if you think about it, like an engine, you got your car, right? And you got to fill it up with gas. And you need so much gas to go from point A to point B. But what happens if you just put way too much gas in the car? Well, gas is going to go everywhere. But what if you just fill your trunk up with gas? Well, that's what I did. And that's what other man wearing those shirts at the beach. Don't line. Don't say that you like wearing shirts in the water, okay? I was a liar. I can admit it. I used to say that I was happy with my shirt in the water. Well, I'm not. I don't have to worry about putting sunscreen on because I got a shirt on. I don't got to worry about that. And then when I get out and have my sopping wet shirt, I put on the Columbia shirt, right? Because it's short sleeve and it was real big in the waist, so it covered my dad bod and my gut. And I'd walk around being like, yeah, this guy's got a dad bod. This guy's got a dad bod. Dad bods are cool. No, they're not. No, they're not. All right, stop lying to yourself. They're cool until you don't have one. And you think it's hard to not have a dad bod. It's not hard. And I'm going to tell you what Illy did to me. First of all, my, at the time, I don't know, 8-year-old daughter looks at me when I'm sitting on the couch with a beer sitting on my belly, legit on my belly. And she goes, Dad, you're fatter than Santa Claus. It was funny. It was like the smack your ass in the face moment. Cause I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be fatter than Santa Claus. Maybe like as fat, but not fatter than Santa Claus. So I have Illy on the radio show, very ironically, like a week later, and she tells me 2 days a week, 20 minutes a day, you can change your life. I tell her she's full of S, right? And she's like, well, give it a try. So I go in the gym. I do the workout on these Nautilus machines called X-Force Body. By the way, xforcebody.com is a website. I'm going to rant about this for a minute. And then we are going to talk about the real estate market and mortgages for a little. And then we're going to get back into Illy's story and how do you lose all this weight. But so I went in the gym. I did the workout. She told me don't eat half an hour before I went in. I listened. I still almost threw up. I saw stars. Like if you've never seen stars, either A, you've never hit your head hard enough, B, you've never been punched, or C, you've never been to X-Force Body. One of the three, because I saw freaking stars. All right. I could have counted them. But I will tell you this, 5 years later, I work out on the same 14 machines and I still get sore to this day. How is that possible? How am I working out for 20 minutes a day and I'm getting sore? How did I have this journey where I literally lost 40 pounds to the point where I walked in and Illy's like, you're not eating enough calories. What are you eating? I'm like, well, you told me to eat like 1,600 to 1,800 calories. She's like, yeah, but now you have all this muscle. Now you got to feed the muscle, dude. She told me to go get a plate of pasta. Like literally. But I will tell you how she got me on the diet, because this is something I think is very important for people is the word. Sorry, Illy, I'm just talking it up today. She's going to get to talk eventually. Diet. Diet is such a bad word to so many people because when people hear diet, at least what I heard was, I can't eat what I want. That's what I hear. Illy told me the very first day, she goes, here's what you're going to do. You're going to eat a lot less calories. Going back to this tour of Italy, I'm going to freaking Google it and see how many calories are in a tour of Italy. Let's see. How many calories are in a tour of Italy from Olive Garden?
3,000.
It's got to be at least 3,000. There has to be. So I'm going to look it up. But so Illy's telling me to eat 1,600 to 1,800 a day, and I would go and eat an entire tour of Italy like it was no tomorrow and have some tiramisu and probably have some wine. Dude, we're probably talking 4,000 calories. You had me go down less than half of that for the entire day, right? But here's the best. Here's what she told me to do. She said, Frank, go eat what you like to eat, but eat half of it. Oh my God, did that work? I'll never forget my first dinner after my first X-Force workout. We went to Outback, and I ordered the filet, broccoli, Caesar salad, and what is my other side I got? Potato with sour cream, butter, and everything. Dude, I ate a half of everything. I was full.
And you were full, yeah.
I was full. Number one, I was full. I was full. That's the important thing. I was happy. I was full. And then I saved it. And like 4 hours later, I ate some of the rest, right? But the key was she had already taught me how to count my calories. So from that day forward, I started paying attention to what I ate and how many calories I put in my body. Because again, it's like a gas. You got to burn the gas. If you have too much gas in the tank, then you're not burning it. So you want to put just the right amount of gas in there to burn it. So your body has enough fuel and enough energy, but it doesn't have too much, because that's when you start packing on the pounds, right? The other thing, you told me, like, I could eat all these things. You told me eat sour cream cheese. You're like, all this stuff, a bagel. I walk in and I've seen her eating bread, and people are like, you can't eat carbs. BS. What did you tell me about carbs?
You can't build muscle without them.
Right. You can't build muscle without carbs, because you need the energy. That's the gasoline. That's the fuel, right? Now you can do other things. You can add protein and do all these other cool things that we're going to learn from Illy today. But I really wanted to I just took that whole segment explaining to you guys kind of the why. What happened to me? I was fat Frank. My friends didn't tell me. I hate all of you for not telling me. You know why you didn't tell me? Because you were happy that I was fatter than you. But now what are you saying? I'll tell you what you're saying. You're going to xforcebody.com. You got to check it out. You guys have seen what it's done for me. You have seen that I have maintained this weight loss. I packed on muscle. I'm not 148 pounds anymore. I'm like 160 something, but I've got muscle. I've got almost a full six pack. I don't have to wear a shirt anymore. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw my shirts away. I'll probably go to jail. They'll never let me eat in a restaurant again.
Your friends kept telling us, tell Frank to keep his shirt on.
They did. They told. Anyway, I got to go take a break. We'll be back in a minute with Illy from X-Force Body. We'll learn about a workout journey. Stay tuned.
All the best mortgage or real estate advice from Tampa Bay's top experts. It's the Business Happy Hour with Frank the Bank Cotto and Senia Akishina.
All right, so I know our commercials do say mortgage and real estate advice. Senia is unfortunately out today. Her little guy fractured his wrist, I think it was. Sad little guy. You know, I am knock on wood here. I lived my entire... I'm going to screw myself when I say this, but I lived my whole life and have not broken a bone. Knock, 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 knock. My kids have not broken a bone. Knock, 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 knock. So I don't know what I'm doing right. Maybe, you know, my dad didn't beat me hard enough. I'm not beating my kids hard enough. I don't know. But exactly. But James, you had that one queued up. But I don't know. I've never broke a bone, but so I can imagine it's traumatic for a little guy to break a bone and doesn't know what's going on, and you got to wear the cast. So, Senia, I hope everything's going good over there. Illy and I are going to talk a little bit about real estate. We'll probably do it, and we'll do it in this segment, and then we're going to get into this whole health journey. But by the way, all you dad bods out there, I'm talking to you. I know I was razzing you in that first segment, but I'm serious. I am so happy that I met Illy and that I went on this workout journey. And I know Illy, you're going to say, it's you, it's not me, but everybody needs a catalyst. Everybody, whether it's your daughter telling you you're fatter than Santa Claus, and then ironically, you go do a radio show and you have somebody that gives you the path. Because I think that's really what a lot of people don't. They think, oh, I just got to go to the gym. I got to not eat carbs. I got to not eat anything I want. I got to get on Weight Watchers. Dude, I've tried it all. I've done Fit Life foods. I've focused on only eating here or there. In the end, it just becomes a habit. You start paying attention to what you eat. Crap in, crap out, right? Really, crap in, crap goes to your belly. Don't put it in, then it doesn't go to your belly. But guys, dude, I eat out. By the way, secret, I eat out every single day. And I know a lot of people would probably say that's terrible for you. And
I wouldn't believe you.
Right? Right? Because most people, you can't say, I literally go to a restaurant every single day. And if I don't go to a restaurant on a day on a weekend, I'm like celebrating. I'm like, thank God I didn't have to go buy a restaurant meal this weekend. Of course, I go on the weekends, like family wants to go out to dinner and stuff like that. But I go to lunch every single day. I go to breakfast at a restaurant 2 days a week, probably 3 if you count my weekends. And then I don't know, dinners, I'm probably going out to eat 3 or 4 nights a week. How do I maintain it? Simple. I just pay attention to what I eat, but I still eat what I want. And if I want that dang chicken brine with all the cheese and the honey mustard, well, damn it, Frankie's ordering the chicken brine and he's eating half of it.
It's not what, it's how much.
How much?
That's it.
It's so magical.
It's like when people come and say, oh, I had ice cream. So what? Big deal. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
You know what you told me? Because I told you I had a sweet tooth. I don't know if you remember this, but you're like, at the end of the night, eat a little something sweet. Eat a piece of chocolate. Satisfy that sweet tooth before you go to bed. It's like my final little dose of calorie to keep my metabolism going. So another thing you taught me is you got to keep the metabolism going. This fasting stuff is a fad, dude. Like your body needs, it's like an engine. It's got to run. You got to give it a little bit of fuel all day long.
You can fast and there may be some benefits to it, but not when you're trying to build and keep muscle.
Right.
If you're sitting all day doing nothing, fine. You can fast. You can fast for 3 days and survive. But the goal is not survival. The goal is, right? I don't want to survive my day. I want to crush my workout. I want to feel good. I want to have energy. It's maximizing your muscle
and keeping active, health. Maximizing your muscle. I mean, there's a million things that we could say, how to do it. But the bottom line is just make it a habit. Pay attention to what you eat. Crap in, crap out. Don't eat so much of it. Enjoy life. But listen, if you can work out 2 days a week, 20 minutes a day.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Now, why, Illy? Tell us this. What is the premise on just 2 days a week? There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for, like I said, perfect dose.
Right.
Just like medication. Exercise needs to be dosed perfectly as well.
Okay.
So the 2 days a week allows for sufficient recovery. We know we need 48 hours recovery from 50 plus years with the Nautilus studies, the Dr. Darden studies, right?
Right.
It's funny because I looked it up not too long ago. The latest study in 2016 on how often we should lift weights, it says each muscle group twice a week for the most efficient muscle building for sufficient recovery. So we've been doing it.
So let me break that down because I know all the gym rats out there are saying, well, that's what I do. I do chest and try, back and bi, legs, shoulders one day. Right. So I do it every single day. I do the muscle groups. Illy, I'm doing what you say.
They're doing it this way because in their mind, if I train upper body only, my lower body is resting.
Right. It's
wrong.
Not?
It's wrong. Because I always ask people the question, what do you think changes your body? What do you think recovers your body? Your body recovers your body.
Okay.
Our recovering systems, the heart, the kidneys, the cardiovascular system, the endocrine system.
The nervous system.
The nervous system is our body's system to recover us.
Right.
Okay, but those systems, they don't know where the stress is coming from. They don't know if you're emotionally stressed, if you ran a marathon, if you train legs or chest.
Okay.
If you were sick, it's the same process of recovery, right?
Right.
So now, if you train just legs, then just back, your recovering systems don't know where the stress is coming from. So they're constantly busting to recover you every single day from something. They don't know if it's flu, if it's COVID, if you train legs, or if you ran a marathon.
Right.
Right? So now we know train the body as a unit, give the body a chance to fully recover you as a unit, and then train it again as a unit. This is why at X-Force we do full body workouts.
Okay, so you just nailed it in that sentence. Train the body as a unit. So the common misconception is that people are not training as a unit, they're training as a muscle group.
Correct.
And they think because I'm training only this muscle group that muscle group is recovering when I go to train another one.
Nope.
But the truth is, you're leaving the engine running the whole time.
Right. So those systems, they don't know it's leg day, chest day, back day. They don't know where it's coming from. It's just stress.
They just know that they're being used.
Exactly. They know that we're, and then over time, this is why people start in January, they go hard 2 months.
Right.
And by month 3, they fall off because they're exhausted. Their immune system is run down. They start getting sick because this is one of the symptoms of overtraining.
Right.
Overtraining is a serious condition. Do you know how many bodybuilders I know that all of a sudden they're posting pictures in the hospital?
Right. Actually, we're going to talk about that. We got to take a quick break here. Illy and I are having way too much fun. I promise we'll talk some real estate probably in the third segment, but we're having way too much fun talking about changing your life, changing your waistline, changing your attitude and your health. Got to go to xforcebody.com, and she will give you that workout in person in Palm Harbor or South Tampa on Kennedy. xforcebody.com. We'll be right back. All right, minute and a half. So for our Instagrammers right now, and we're going to do this when we get back. I don't want to not do this on the air, but just for you and I's sake, getting sick. And I'll say this when we get on the air. I'm going to ask you: is how many times have you been sick in the last 5 years that you can remember? Like sick, like I can't go to work today. Like I gotta like stay home for a couple of days. I'm pretty bad.
5 years ago,
yeah, like cold, pneumonia, COVID type crap, like. Right? And I'm trying to think. I'm glad we're saying this out loud because I'm actually trying to think myself. I know there was a time when I was sick at some point in the last year or two. With kids, like you'll pick up something from them, but it'll be like kind of a sniffle, a cough, something like, what do we just call it, a cold that we walk around with, right? But actually being sick, I'm even trying to think of the last medicine I took. I'm trying to think of like when I've taken an antibiotic. I can't even think of it. I know my wife's watching. She's probably going to look at this. Andrew Vallone has been sick 6 to 7 times. Andrew, we're going to have to talk to your parents. Either you're eating the gum from under the school tables or you're licking your hands after holding the rail at Disney World. We're going to have to find out what it is, Mr. Vallone. And when we do, we're going to have a little talk with Mom and Dad. I love watching you guys on here. All right, James, we're ready to fire.
Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group right here in Tampa Bay for 23 years. Joined by his incredible co-host, Senia Akishina, realtor with Mahara & Associates, Tampa's top real estate company. Together, they have helped finance and close nearly $1 billion of real estate every year. If you're looking for local mortgage or real estate advice, the Business Happy Hour team has been right here on News Radio WFLA for over a decade. Listen right here or find us on the Business Happy Hour YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Frank the Bank Cotto. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious mortgage, real estate, and business talk with 2 of Tampa's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank and Senia.
All right, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. I just found out my son might have gotten in trouble for long hair at Jesuit. Can't have long hair, boys. Better watch yourselves over there. That's right. We've got spies everywhere. So before the break, Illy Stoilova and I, good friend of mine, she has helped change my life. I'm sorry, I'm giving you credit. I always do because you gave me the path.
I had to.
I know. She just gives it right back to me. I had to choose to make the decisions. I had to eat less calories, which now I just watch what I eat. I mean, yeah, I don't listen, guys.
You see it before you eat it.
I see it. Like, right. I don't count my calories anymore. I used to kind of count them. I actually had the point where when my wife was making like our home cooked meals, which I loved, we actually got this program where you could tell what you could say what you were putting in, like 2 eggs, flour, this or this, whatever the hell it was, and it would say this is what the total recipe had, and then you could figure out, well, how am I going to eat 25% of this, whatever. I knew how many calories I ate. But just by doing that for 30 days, you get a really, really good understanding of what's what. So like today, I actually decided, I didn't tell you this, last couple of weeks, I decided to actually start focusing on eating more protein because I do these scans at X-Force Body where it scans my whole body. It tells me my fat composition, my body composition, my muscle growth. It gives me an outline of yourself almost naked where you can like see things in like your shape and stuff. Anyway, when I looked at the last one of this one, I didn't have any muscle increase, right? I actually went down in fat. I went down.
Okay.
And, you know,
that's okay.
So I, I decided, you know what? I'm actually going to do what you've told me. I'm going to start increasing my protein a little bit and see if I can. So I'm eating some pea protein. I stopped by Smoothie King on the way here. Now, here's what happened when I went to Smoothie King. I did not order the strawberry chocolate Hulk like I would have in high school. That's like literally like 1,500 calories.
Oh my God.
I got the Gladiator. And it ranges from 220 to 900 calories. And that's depending on what you put in it and the size you get. So I got a small because guess what, guys? The small has the same 45 grams of protein as the freaking large, right? So I got 45 grams of protein. I threw a scoop of peanut butter in there and some strawberries. So, I mean, I'm probably been sitting at 300-400 calories for that, but I'm getting that extra protein, which will help me build some muscle. And yeah, I do weigh a little more now than where I maybe want to be because yeah, it's easy to lose a little weight and get a six pack. But I want what's interesting is I'm totally squirreling. My son Landon, he messes with me all the time, and he's like, that's like a fat six pack. I'm like, no, dude. Did you know, Landon, that the abs are muscles and they actually grow and they actually stick out when they're big? Right? They're not these little things that you kids have where you just have little lines there because there's no muscles.
Tell him my goal is not to be skinny.
Oh, my goal is not to be skinny, buddy.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be buff.
That's
more
right.
buff than you. That's right. So, Illy, before the break, we were talking about the health benefits of working out, and one of the things you kind of quickly mentioned was getting sick. Right?
Getting sick is another symptom of overtraining. When people do too much exercise, we say, oh, exercise is medicine.
Right.
So we can just do as much as we want without side effects, just like medication.
Right.
When they say take a pill morning and evening, is it going to help you faster if you take the whole bottle? Right?
No.
Nope. So symptoms of overtraining are sleep quality reduction. You can't sleep well.
Mm-hmm.
Your immune system weakens, so you start getting sick. You constantly feel run down. Another that was cute.
James is on it
exactly.
today.
Another symptom is getting injured all the time. How many times you hear people getting gym injuries?
Right, a lot, especially at Orange Theory. Sorry, negative plug. Orange Theory.
It is a fact. If you love doing Orange Theory,
Yeah.
sure, love it. Just accept the risks of injury, just
Right.
like any sport.
Just met a lady last week on this show who tore her ACL at Orange Theory.
There you go.
Happens every freaking week.
Okay, I believe that our workouts should be helping us become resilient to injuries.
Right.
This is when you're lifting
Right.
the right way, where your workouts. When was the last time you got injured?
At X-Force, I'm not going to say
It was-
impossible. It's it's as close to impossible as that could be.
Exactly, it was the door in the middle of the night, right? That
And
was-
yeah. Oh, shh. Both you and James said it at the same time. It was this scar right here. And no, I wasn't drunk. No, I coughed into a dresser. But anyway, no, I don't get injured there. Matter of fact, X-Force has taught me to slow down my motions, right? Because you have the hold on, I'm gonna say it right. 315, 315, which is, how does that work?
3 seconds positive lifting phase, 1 second hold, and 5 second lowering phase.
Right.
Moving the weight slow means your muscles is working harder,
Right.
but you're protecting the joints.
Right.
When you move the weight fast,
You're jerking.
You're using momentum,
Right.
which causes the impact to go to the joint.
Right.
This is how you get injured.
100%. Matter of fact, when I do my pull-ups now, I now go very slow on the backside. Now, granted, you can't pull 20 quick pull-ups like that. You can get like 10, 12
But they're
really
quality.
good ones. Right.
Right. And it's, quality versus quantity. You can do a lot more fast, but it's not the smartest way to go. So
Well, it's not how many you do. It's the quality. By the way, with X-Force, I didn't mention this to you guys. We're going to talk about these machines here in a minute. There's only 7 machines on each side. I think you call it the pull and push side, something like that.
Yes, one side has more compound exercises which means multiple joints, but the point is that you have a lot of variety.
Right.
Because I promise you, most people they go to gym and lift on their own,
Right.
don't use more than 6 exercises.
That sounds
and
about right.
they repeat the same 6.
Right. Right.
You have 14 different ways to approach a muscle,
Yep.
which helps you prevent injuries from overuse.
Exactly.
If you use bench every time the same way,
Right.
you're going to get shoulder injury, just from using the same exact.
Right.
It's called injuries from overuse.
100%.
And that variety helps you avoid injuries.
Yep.
So
It does. And they mix it up for you. I mean, I have literally used these same 14 machines for 5.5 years.
which is way more than the average gym guy uses.
The same 5 or 6 that I would have used.
Exactly,
Because think about it,
yeah.
you go in there and what are you going to do? You're going to do some bench press. You might do some free weights. You're going to do some curls. You're going to do your shoulder
Exactly.
presses. What are you really doing? You know. By the way, we're doing all of that, guys. Okay, this isn't like aerobics. Okay, we're actually doing this, and it is hard. Okay, so the way it works is, you taught me this. Your body can lower 40% more than it can lift or press, right? So basically, it's Schwarzenegger and Frigno and all these guys knew this. That's why you'd see these videos of them putting twice the weight that they could actually bench press on the bar, and the bar would be bending, and Lou and his buddy would be on the side, and Arnold would be on the bench, and they would lift it up for him and get it to the peak, and then he would lower it down real slow, just like an X-Force. And what was he doing, Illy, when he did that? He was getting
negatives.
the negatives. And I love it because you taught me there's like 2 sides to the muscle, and we're only working out one when we push it up and we let gravity just drop it back down to our chest. Well, we're not getting the other side. That's what these guys knew 40 years ago.
We just didn't have the technology to build the equipment around it.
Right.
Now we have X-Force.
Right.
And X-Force is the only negative strength training tool in the world. Nobody else has it. Only 5 businesses in America have it. It comes from Sweden. But I tell people, if you tell me you're lifting weights, makes me happy.
Right.
Because lifting weights is good for you.
Right.
But the difference between X-Force negative machines and traditional weights is in the level of healthy hormones that your body is boosting to help you recover. We're talking growth hormone. Now, Frank, you cannot touch those hormones with traditional weights. That's the difference.
Yeah, let's talk about hormones. This comes up a lot these days. Everybody's talking about hormones and how when we get a little older in our 40s, girls and boys, where our bodies start changing and stuff. And
that's a separate topic. How people nowadays say, I can't lose weight. I'm going to go check my hormones.
Okay.
And I go, okay, but your sleep is crap. And I'm dead serious. If you're sleeping 6 hours on average a night, you'll never fix your hormones. There's no way, because healthy sleep provides for normal hormone production. So the hormones with the equipment, they get boosted because of the deep level in which those machines break your muscles down. And we're talking growth hormone, which is, everybody knows, people take shots of it, which creeps me out because I don't know what goes with the shot. Insulin growth factor, which helps you lose fat faster than ever, also protects from diabetes. Now, muscle protects from diabetes and helps people with diabetes. If you get diagnosed with diabetes, go lift weights, right? The third one is interleukin-6, which is one of the biggest anti-inflammatories. And in the last 5 years, they did studies with cancer patients, and they found that interleukin-6, it's a chemical / hormones, literally shrinks tumors on cancer patients. So interleukin-6 kills cancer cells. So when you're thinking lifting weights, it's not just for muscle and looks. It's for your health. And again, if somebody gets diagnosed with cancer, go lift weights.
Right.
Don't listen to a doctor that says, oh, just rest, just relax. No, you need to lift weights.
Because you want your body to emit these things, to create these things for you.
Yes, and muscle is responsible for so many things, including healthy hormone function. I say lifting weights is the basics, just like sleep, just like nutrition. If we don't have the basics, going and getting hormones injected is like trying to win a basketball game with our shoes untied.
That's a great analogy. With that, we're going to take a break here in the Business Happy Hour. When we get back on our last segment, we're going to wrap it all up into health, the benefits, sleep, sickness, and what you can do. xforcebody.com. Check it out today. Illy will take care of you. All right, last segment. What do we just kind of recap? Keep talking about it. Anything specific we want to dive into?
We can talk about the basics because I keep stressing the basics.
Okay.
Basics.
How about I ask you, what are the basics?
Sleep, hydration, nutrition, lifting weights.
So I'm going to say, let's talk about the basics, the basic principles of X-Force. What are the things?
No, basics of health.
Basics of health. Okay.
Health. Are you healthy? Tell me how you sleep. Tell me how you eat.
Yes.
Tell me, right?
Talking to you boys watching us on Instagram, 6 hours, that is unacceptable. You boys who are all at that boys' school over there, let me tell you guys a little secret. Go. This is a high school student watching us.
So now the school system
is
totally working against teenagers
Ah.
because teenagers naturally cannot get good sleep until 11 p.m.
Uh-huh.
and then they wake up too early to go to school. The school system is teenagers need to go to bed a little later than adults.
Really? There's science behind that?
There's science behind it. It's very interesting science.
Oh, you guys just caught a break on this. So that's interesting. I did not know. She says preach.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So it is
School
true.
should start later so teenagers can get sufficient
Now they
sleep.
still need 8 hours though, right?
Yes, but they cannot fall asleep at 10 p.m. They cannot.
Really?
It's very rare you have a teenager because of the extra hormones and their growth.
Let's get back to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group, and his co-host, Senia Akishina, realtor with Mahara and Associates.
You got a fan.
I know, right?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. We are having too much fun in the break. By the way, if you want to join in this fun that we have every day, because we keep talking about the Instagram and we've got a whole crew of guys who watch our show religiously. We are on Instagram every Tuesday, usually from about 11:10 until 1 o'clock. 11:10 to 1 o'clock. Always at least 11:15 to 1 o'clock. That is our 45 minutes that we're on. So you guys join the Business Happy Hour on Instagram, and you guys can chime in. Oh, look at that. You guys got to go to class now. Have fun. You guys got a break today, and we're going to talk about this in this segment because Illy, we were talking in the break about how kind of wrapping this all together. And sorry, guys, I didn't really talk mortgages, but I will mention, I'll do a shameless plug real quick. Don't forget that I do mortgages. This healthy guy likes to sell healthy mortgages as well. All types of mortgages, 100% financing, FHA, VA, conventional, reverse mortgages. One of my favorite things in the world. If you're over 55 years old and you have equity in your home, it doesn't matter if you are behind on your mortgage payment. You could be in foreclosure. We can take care of you with a reverse mortgage today. There is no application. Credit doesn't matter. Income is not even that big of a deal. It's the easiest mortgage to get approved for if you have equity in your home and you're over 55. By the way, it's the only thing that I'll tell you this. The older, the better. The older you are, the better it is for you when you're getting a reverse mortgage. So don't feel bad. We just did a reverse mortgage for a 93-year-old retired doctor, and we had a great show with Trish Burt on here telling her reverse mortgage testimonial that is on reverseguru.com. That's reverseguru.com. That's where you can watch the videos that I put out there, and you can reach out to me directly. That's reverseguru.com. Illy, my good friend from X-Force Body, 5 locations in the entire United States, and you own 2 of them?
No. 5 businesses in the United States have the equipment.
5 have the equipment?
Yes. They're different businesses. They're not us, X-Force Body.
Oh, X-Force is only here?
Only here. Oh. And there's one in Gainesville, too, where Dr. Darden did the research. The research was conducted in Gainesville. So.
In Gainesville, and then the other ones across the country.
So there's different businesses that have the equipment,
but
they're not us. They're not.
So 3 X-Forces at period.
Period.
And they're in Florida.
They're in Florida.
2 in Tampa, 1 Palm Harbor on 19.
Palm Harbor, South Tampa.
On Kennedy.
Yes.
Yep.
In Gainesville.
And that's the one I go to.
A couple other businesses have the equipment.
Okay.
But they don't do the whole program like us.
Got it. I'll tell you what, if I ever move out of Tampa, probably never happening. I'm buying that equipment. I'll do whatever I got to do to have that equipment. It'll cost me as much as a house, but I will have that equipment. God, Illy, man, we've having so much fun today. So let's kind of wrap it all together. And by the way, xforcebody.com is where you go. And hey, you know what? I'm going to make a promise to my listeners right now. If you're listening to this show and you go to xforcebody.com and you schedule your first tryout with Illy, she's going to meet with you for an hour. She's going to work you out. Be ready. Don't eat half an hour before you go. Illy, you tell Illy that you heard about us right here on the radio show. I will come to your first workout. I will schedule it, and I will come and I will work out with you. All right. I will be there to see you throw up, and I will be there to dance in the stars that you see in front of you. Nah, you're not going to throw up. I promise. I've never thrown up, but I did see stars because it is a seriously good 20-minute workout. I promise you will not get a better one. So Illy, let's put it all together, because what we were talking about in the break a minute ago, we got 4 minutes left, is I cannot remember the last time I got sick. Like, I can't remember the last time I had to take medication for anything. And then I remember what it was. It was probably like a Z-Pack. I don't even think I've done it in 5 years since I've known you. I know I got something at some point, but it's usually like you get something from a kid, you get a cough, you get walk-in cold, whatever the heck we call it. I mean, when's the last time you got sick?
I don't even remember. Nothing to where it stops me in my tracks. I can still function a little, but this is the point of doing something that helps you be healthier. Right. Yeah, you can go to the gym 5 days a week, but that's not the healthiest way to go. Exactly. It's not. Like I say, all these influencers and bodybuilders, and at some point they're in a hospital bed. I'm like, dude, you're 30 years old. Yeah. You should not be. This is why I never understand how people have different reasons to do things. Right. Now, if you have emotional need to be in the gym 5 days a week, I understand. Sure. But that's a different reason. Right. If you're busy, if you have a family, you run a business, you're a busy professional, you don't have to be in the gym 5 days a week. And actually, it's not the best thing for you. By the way, that's part of how you got me, because of how busy I am running multiple companies. Two, I got to emphasize this. This is an executive workout, but it's way better than that. And the reason I say executive is because you can be an executive at a Fortune 500 company and you can fit this in. This is on Kennedy, guys. All the big companies are right here in South Tampa. You literally walk out the door to your office on West Shore. You go to the place on Kennedy right here next to La Segunda and Metro Diner. You go in there for 20 minutes. You take 10 minutes to sit in the waterbed afterwards, which is awesome. You change clothes. That's about 40 minutes. All right. Then you go back to the office. 1 hour from the day you walk out, the minute you walk out the office to the minute you walk back in. By the way, my office is on Limeball, the Veterans, and I can do it in an hour. Leaving from there, going, changing, coming back. But we have 2 minutes now. Let's wrap this together about health, because there's some basics of health, and you really emphasize those at X-Force. Yes. Sleep. Okay. Sufficient sleep between 7 and 9 hours a night, with a regular sleep schedule too. That's very important. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is nutrition, hydration, stress mitigation. Don't let one little thought derail your whole day and make you have a bad day. Right. Okay. Stress and lifting weights. That's it. And if those are the basics. And without those basics, your hormones will not be okay. Right. And it's not that hard. So I throw in there, she has me drink water. We do drink a gallon of water. Right. We try to get the sleep. That's super important. I try to get 8 hours during the school week. Week, it's hard. I get it, but get at least 7. By the way, I time my sleep and I can tell the difference. If I get under 7 to over 8, there is a physical difference in your body. I promise you. Teenagers. But anyway, the sleep, the snacks. You taught me to eat the little snacks, which is great. I can teach you with Illy in 30 days how to change your life. And if you go to X-Force and you check it out, when you go in there, say, I want to see the picture of Frank, promise you're going to see it, because you're going to look at it when you get on the scale. And it is not a flattering picture, but I allow her to put it up there because you can see a drastic transformation in my body in just a couple months. And guys, I'm not Mr. Weight Watchers, and I used to think those were fake pictures. I now live it. I am one. I challenge you to do that, and I challenge you to meet me there. And you can see what I've done in 5 years at X-Force. That's xforcebody.com. Illy, thank you for coming on. Thank you for having me. It's always great having you on. Another positive influence. By the way, speaking of positivity, we now do the Good Franken Morning post every morning. Follow Frank the Bank Cotto on Instagram. You will see the Good Franken Morning. It's a morning motivational post for all of you to stay positive, because happy life, happy wife, happy body, happy business. Illy, thanks again. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we're going to see you next week on the Business Happy Hour. Don't forget to watch the Instagram, like and share. We also will forward this over to Facebook, and you can check us out on 970 WFLA, 1250 WHNZ, and some other channels. Who knows? But we're also a podcast on iHeartRadio. We'll see you guys next week. All right, James.